Okay, hello everyone. I've just decided to murmur something again in English and let it be the session of today because I kinda revealed to myself pretty interesting desire and I arrived at an interesting conclusion not a conclusion, but I arrived at an interesting feeling that I kinda want to speak more and it just goes from my inside and it's not like I'm forcing myself to do that. I've just became more interested about speaking, and maybe it's like a natural process when you like learn your not only English but let's say second language. Though I don't consider my English as a second language anymore, it feels like let's say my native second language and that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And today especially today I feel kind of want to speak, but I don't even still fucking know what to speak about, and just to I don't know. And the interesting thing about me myself also is kind of that I discovered and I just to spot. I spotted the thing that I just recently, not recently, but maybe two weeks ago, I was doing my vlog in my native language, and I kind of was in front of camera and I was supposed to speak my native language at a high rate of speech and even like lower that I'm doing right now, and I was barely able to do that in my native language. And after quitting that session of self-recording in my native language, I kind of tried to start and commence these video shoots of my English activities here, and I kind of discovered and I discerned that I can just speak English more fluently and on the fly, I should say, as I do right now, as I'm doing right now. Please bear with all my like grammar corrections and by myself and all those like not properly done things right here, right now in front of you. And please bear with all this. I'm only learning about my English, and I said what I wanted in this intro in the very beginning and what I'm gonna do today. And I'm just gonna reveal you some stuff about what's happening just with me and with my in my physical world that surrounds me, like outside, inside my apartment, and in my mind, I should say, my internal feelings, how I feel, how I do, how I'm doing, and on the whole, I should say. And I won't be covering all the issues of mine, and still I may get into some details and be more granular about things that I want to be granular about, and we'll see how it goes. Anyways, that's my today's video shoot, and let's commence with the ramblings itself. I don't call these kind of ramblings anymore, and still I like the word ramblings and how it sounds, how it feels like to be immersed in the fullest and deepest ramblings of mine. And if you've been following me for a while, let's say, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months in a row, you might be familiar, and you could be familiar and just with the kind of rubbish that happens on this channel, and that's my world, just to have it or live it. And I'm not holding you again in this place, in my nicest place that I'm having and I'm residing in, and that's up for you to decide what to do in your lives, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And today is like, I don't know, I wanted to bring you some details about my hobbies and how I'm doing them, and what I feel about them on the whole, in general, I should say. And today I met a friend of mine. His name was Oleg, and he gave me what he gave me. He gave me resin for soldering iron, and there was another friend of mine whose name is Victor. He'd given to me soldering iron himself, and I requested him to do that. He did, and I was given a soldering iron previously, and that friend, second friend Oleg, he gave me soldering resin. He gave me soldering kind of metal thing, like solder for soldering iron, and I'm about to use that nice set of things of mine in the nearest, let's say, I don't know, maybe 24 hours, and we'll see how it goes with that thing. And I kinda I'd been reminiscing recently about my children years, and not only about children years, but about also my youth years when I was fond of making those activities with soldering iron by soldering something, some electrical circuits, and I was composing some electrical circuits, and I was just making up some computer things out of set of things that were supposed to be like a set of things for making an entire computer thing out of them, you know what I'm saying? And I was buying stuff at the local radio market, and I was just putting things together in order to get thing done. I mean, my computer makeshift computer thing made of makeshift materials, not of makeshift material, but out of set of things that was intended to be serving for a certain purpose, to make this nicest computer of my children years. And that was done not a lot, but a late time ago, and I'm still reminiscing about those times when I was young and I was doing something with my hands and with my mind, I should say. And I was just pondering recently, what if I make the same, but just with my own attitude, and as I were doing previously, and with my just being so fully dedicated to that process, all my dedication that I had before, and I still have it. And why not do that? I don't know. I don't see any fucking hurdles of not doing that and about not doing that. And that's my whole point, that I'm I'm going like in circles, like last thing, not last, but all things that I did somehow in my past, and I'm about to revive them and to put them in life again. And let's say I mentioned about those activities about making some new electrical circuits and fixing them and constructing them and designing them using soldering iron, solder and soldering resin, along with together, I mean, by making some useful activities while using them, you know what I'm saying? I guess I made it clear. I tried honestly, and I don't know, maybe I'm not a native speaker of English, but please bear with all with a lot of mistakes that I do here, and just the way I don't shy about speaking. I don't shy about doing mistakes at all. I'm not kind of by the rule kind of guy, and I've always been that kind of guy who didn't follow any fucking rules, and I hate rules actually, though I follow them, and I might some occasions violate those rules in order to make things better, you know what I'm saying? And that's my whole point of how I do life, of my point of how I see life, how I do my life, and all the stuff that goes along these lines, you know what I'm saying? And I share with you my soldering thing. I share with you with my. I wanted to say a couple of words about weather that we have outside right now, and the weather is pretty harsh and nasty, and I don't even fucking know what to call it. Just I don't know. We have all those like dangerous, not dangerous, but pernicious icy spots elsewhere around our nicest vicinities around the house where we live in, and icy spots are everywhere, these fucking ones. And I was doing my way home with carefully and just bewaring of being fall down and not to be injured, you know, because of these icy spots everywhere. And I managed actually, I carried it off, and just we'll see how it goes tomorrow, what kind of temperature we will have tomorrow. And they say on some weather prognosis side, they say we'll be having like nicest weather around 80 degrees above 0 of Celsius. And I don't believe actually those like internet sources that make some kind of weather prognosis. As we say here in our country, we have three kinds of lie. The simplified form of lie, the first degree of lie, is like the lie itself. The second type of lie is very harsh lie, and the hardest and the most sophisticated kind of lie is the weather prognosis. You might relate to what I'm saying, and that's my joke of today. And I brought you and I shared with you with what I wanted, and just to, I don't know, maybe what about wrapping this shit up in order to save some more space for my listening practice of today. Let's say, I don't know, maybe I'll be following Bloomberg channel in the nearest half an hour. We'll see how it goes, and I kind of reserve some time for doing that activities. And I kind of also noticed that I kind of want to speak more. I want to listen more native English flow and at a higher rate of speech, and I kind of started doing that. Actually, I raised my bar and about speed, about rate of speech, about just whatever to be related to English practice, whatever to be. Let's say I'm speaking, I'm just listening, I'm just what I'm doing now. What else am I doing? I don't know. Maybe I'm wigging with my ears, and please bear all this shit that just being sounded just right now in front of your adorable and nicest ears and in front of your own eyes. And that's my whatever, that's my thing, and I've said what I wanted, and that's it about tonight. And just be good and follow your be just yourself, no matter what they say, and never quit doing that, and never just slack off about doing whatever, and you'll be great at that, and you'll be fully immersed in that, and you'll be succeeding at whatever you'll be doing in your life. And that's it, and just take care, and see y'all in a while. See y'all, bye.